I think I'd have to start off by saying that being a New Zealander isn't just where you're from. It's about having shared values in the community, such as being close to nature, participating in teamwork related activities, and having cultural pride, especially in engaging in Maori traditions. People in New Zealand have a very deep connection with the land and the ocean because they enjoy surfing and having a very outdoorsy lifestyle, if that makes any sense. They're also very oriented in team culture because some of their uh, favorite sports include sports like rugby and netball. Another thing that I noticed about New Zealanders is that they identify in two ways because they embrace Maori culture and non Maori culture and traditions. New Zealanders are also a very inclusive people because they like to include everybody in all the sports that they do, including the women, handicapped people, and of course the men. I'll use one of the activities that we participated in as an example, which was rugby, which is New Zealand's biggest sport because both the men and the women's teams are just as popular, and you don't see that really much anywhere else in the world. And I think rugby is a very popular sport in New Zealand, and New Zealand are very good at playing rugby because it's very, very teamwork oriented. You have to be very tough to play it, of course, and there's just a mutual respect between the players and the nationalities and all the people of different levels that participate in rugby. Rugby and the New Zealand culture just go really well together because basically it's all about unity and pride. Because when you think of the All Blacks culture or the Silver Ferns, you see that no matter what their background is, where they're from, or what culture they most identify with, they're all united because they all participate in the haka, and they all just play for the one country, which is New Zealand. And it's such a great honor to participate in the All Black teams or the Silver Fern teams. So even though I myself have participated in team sports, playing rugby just kind of showed me how important teamwork and the collective identity in New Zealand is. It kind of emphasized it to me a bit more than what I actually understood it to. Netball was another example that was very similar to rugby, except I found that it was more popular among women, which was funny because men aren't really known for playing netball. Although I found netball very similar to rugby in terms of sport culture, unity, teamwork. I believe netball was a little more gender inclusive, since I was shown that it was more popular among women. So with netball, I think it's very similar to basketball, and it's also very accessible. All you need is a court and the ball. And not only that, but it's also valued across, just like rugby, it's valued across the different groups and cultures in New Zealand. It's gender, race, and it's also very inclusive, very similar to rugby. So I had a very good time playing netball, and I found it very interesting and very fun. So I'd have to say that I found surfing one of the more interesting activities since this is also my first time surfing. I found that surfing is not really a team sport, but it's more about connecting to nature and the outdoors, which is very big in New Zealand. Nature and outdoors is what these people enjoy. So it was sort of surprising to me that surfing was this popular in New Zealand because not only that, but I was also surprised at how closely surfing was to their culture and identity. Because surfing is very outdoorsy, and also the people of New Zealand are very outdoorsy, and it's a very connected nature, and the ocean is a very beautiful place. So to me, I think surfing just kind of reinforced the strong connection that people of New Zealand have with their environment, which is the outdoors, nature, the ocean, and anything that grows on their island. Now, soccer was more unique compared to the other sports because it kind of exhibited, if that's a great word, or displayed the influence that the world has on New Zealand because soccer is very, very multicultural and it's very globally connected because it's basically the most popular sport in the world. And so it kind of connects to New Zealand because it reflects a lot of the a lot of immigrants, play, a lot of diversity. Reason I say a lot of immigrants and diversity is because basically that's what soccer around the world is like. A lot of teams have a lot of immigrants and a lot of diversity on their team. Even on the Wellington Phoenix, there were players from the UK. There was even American players. As surprising as it sounds, I believe on the opposing team I saw a South Korean player. So it's very also like the other sports, very inclusive, very gender inclusive as well, since it's very popular by with the men and the women in New Zealand. And not only that, but it's also growing. It's growing as well. So with that, you can see how also New Zealand is also impacted by not just local culture, but by global culture. As some of the people there surprised me by saying that soccer has been growing. So an example of that would be someone at the Wellington Phoenix game said that that was the most amount of people that he had ever seen, I believe, in a while. And as well, the person that I had my interview with, Ross, told me that these third division games have been growing in attendance. He said early on, not many people would go, and recently, just more and more people have started attending. So the Paralympian seminar to me just further reinforced the idea of inclusion and resilience in New Zealanders because no matter what your disability is, they believe that you can still play any sport that you want, and that basically also displays the resilience of like any disabled New Zealanders who just don't give up and they feel that they can still compete at some level and that there's no barriers or anything that holding them back. So all in all, what I learned about New Zealanders is that they're very team oriented, they're very respectful, they're very down to earth. Uh, of course, they respect Maori culture in terms of the non-Maori New Zealanders. They respect the Maori culture. They are also very active. They're very active people. They love to participate in sports and physical activity, and they're very outdoors. They're very outdoorsy people, and they're also very supportive of equality and fairness. No matter who you are, they believe you should have a chance at playing sports, participating in Maori culture. And so, I learned a lot about the New Zealanders, not just about what they look, but about what their attitudes are and how they have a lot of respect for fellow New Zealanders and the environment. So I think that people that are privileged in New Zealand are people that are able to play rugby. So basically, anyone muscular, athletic, of course, a man, which is many places, and also, or even of like European descent. So basically, a white, strong European man is very popular in New Zealand because he's able to play rugby, and that's what they respect. That's what they like. So, not to say that disabled people are excluded because the Paralympics kind of changed this, but I would say immigrants in New Zealand, such as Indians or Asian people or non-European people, or people who don't really fit the aesthetic of someone who's athletic or outdoorsy. Think of like maybe an overweight, non-European person would might feel a little excluded in New Zealand. Someone who's also not into outdoors or sports, it might have a hard time fitting in to the New Zealand culture.